first of all, this interview is with Lorene Bivard. Have I pronounced that correctly?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Is it Dutch? I'm just curious. Is it a
Yeah, it
Dutch?
is. Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But in any case, this is Lorene Bivard. She is coming to us from all the way from Australia, and she is a successful entrepreneur and a mom. But she also has an interesting story to tell about her journey, and that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today, as well as what she does, but principally who she is and how she managed to turn a desperate situation or a difficult situation around and created a life of her dreams. So, Lorene, welcome. Thank you for joining me from the other side of the planet.
Thank you for having me on as your guest.
My pleasure. Now, just to start things off, just to give where you are now, what you're doing now,
Yep.
and then we're going to backtrack and talk a little bit about the journey to get to where you are now.
Okay, so I am, sorry, have I cut in
No,
front of you, haven't I?
no, no.
I am an executive within my company, and my company is working with a breakthrough in the cellular health. So I help people transform their lives if they've got health challenges or prevention, or if athletes want to perform more or recover quicker. And I'm loving it. And I've always been passionate about health and wellness. So I just really enjoy that field.
Okay. Now, was it purely an academic kind of interest in health and wellness that got you on this track? We'll talk a little bit more about exactly what it is a little bit later. Want people to stay on for a while.
Okay.
But what interests me, because my particular focus is stress management, is it was because of a stressful period in your life that kind of turned you into this particular direction. Am I right?
That's correct. Yes.
Well, share with us a little bit of your story. I know you don't want to share all the details, but to share the basics of it because it's important. It was a turning point for you and a stepping stone to where you are today. So I think it's important to have that little bit of background.
Okay, so I've always been in the health and wellness industry, and I've been quite successful with that as myself as an athlete. I did karate and I performed around the world. I studied at university to be a school teacher.
Right.
And I taught what we call physical education. I did that for a number of years. And during that time, I had the opportunity to go on the TV show called Gladiators. And I'm sure that over in the UK, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Yeah. So I was a contestant and I won. And then they asked me to join the team as their Gladiator Glacier.
Well, you know what? Now that you say that, I recognize your face, but it never clicked that. Oh,
yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
But now because of that,
celebrity.
And because of that profile that brought with it, I started my personal training business, and I had the opportunity to work with and travel with Russell Crowe for 5 years while he was making his movies, Gladiator, Master and Commander, Beautiful Mind, which was amazing, just an amazing experience.
I'm sure it was.
But back in 2009, life threw me a curveball. I'm now a single mum with 2 kids. And with that comes challenges, not only emotionally, the roller coaster, but also financially. I wasn't in a good place. Mm-hmm. And even though from the outside I may have appeared confident in this Wonder Woman, the sound of loneliness and doubt and isolation was deafening from the inside. Mm-hmm. And I was fortunate enough that a friend of mine just caught up with me. He flew down from Sydney, came down to Melbourne, and I thought he was just coming to catch up, the normal, hello, what have you been doing? And then he threw it out there. I've got this amazing product to share with you. And straight away I've gone, no, I've heard it, I've seen it, not for me, no. Because the profile that I brought in, and in the industry I'm in, I get approached all the time. And there are many great products, don't get me wrong. But there's never been anything before where I wanted to be in a situation and share it with other people. So he shared it with me. He told me his testimonial, and he said a few things to me that was quite unique about the product. And I thought, well, okay, I'll try it. I'm going to prove you wrong. And his name was Daniel. So I went home and did what he said to do and used the products how I should have. And you know what? I couldn't prove him wrong. It turned it around. So I just started sharing it with my friends, people at the gym, and it just duplicated from that. And I started to think, oh my gosh, if it's doing that for people, I love health and wellness, and it's making an impact, and I can get little thank yous for that, I'm in. And it was perfect because it's something that I could do around my own time. And my children back then were like 3.5 and 1.5. And I wanted to be home for them. I didn't want to get a babysitter. I didn't want to go and put them in daycare. I wanted to be there for them as much as I could. So it was just a great, great opportunity for me to do that.
Right. Wow. I mean, it's an amazing story, but it's always these little chance encounters that that touch us in such profound ways and can literally transform our lives. So now we're going to talk about how this new venture of yours actually transformed your lives. You've already mentioned that you were able to spend time with your children who were growing young at the time.
Yeah.
That it has allowed you to share something with people that you feel is really effective and good for them. But what else has it done for you? I mean, it's certainly given you the financial stability, and I would imagine now freedom that you had always wanted. But what else has it done for you? I mean, you say it's done amazing things for your health, and you look amazing anyway. But
Oh, thank you.
but what is it? I mean, what does this thing? And we're going to get to that, what it is in a minute. But what exactly does this thing that you've become involved in, this product that has created such a massive change, not only in the financial way, but in terms of your health, well-being, your fitness levels. Talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so first of all, what it firstly did for me was empower me again, right? So what I mean by that, by being in a situation, meeting positive people, the circle of influence started to make me feel good and to get my old mojo back. And that's huge. There's nothing worse when you're depressed and isolated and you're down.
Absolutely.
So I started to feel needed. I still feel wanted, and I felt like I was having an impact with people's lives. So I started to feel really good about that. And the other thing that I can really say is time freedom. You can't beat that. So I can do whenever I want, whatever I want, work around my kids. You have to be disciplined.
Including getting online at odd hours of the day. Yes.
That's right. Okay, that's it. I mean, I'm making new friends on the other side of the world. I mean, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's a huge thing. And I'm not owned by anyone. I'm not making anyone go up the ranks. I don't have to be anywhere at a certain time. I'm creating memories for my kids and I, and to me that's huge. I want them when they're in their 20s to say, wow, my mum, we had the best childhood with her ever. And I just want them to have that. Yeah.
I mean,
so that's
you know, this time lag. It's the time lag. It's bouncing off the satellites, and it takes a while.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's a marvelous story, and one that I think has a lot of relevance for women wherever they may live. There were statistics that came out. It was printed in the newspaper a while ago now, but what they're saying is that women, particularly women who stay at home with their children, and give up, going out into the world of work, when they retire, their state pension will not support them.
Yeah. So what is the pension, right? It's almost lower than the poverty, right? If you think about how many people haven't set themselves up? And I think that it's the amount of people that are really struggling financially is scary. And I think that's another reason why I looked at it. I wanted to be in my 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s and 100s, hopefully, still healthy and be able to enjoy my life, not worrying about how am I going to pay the bills.
Yeah. And I mean, and that I think is really starting to sink in people's minds now, that it's not the system isn't really set up for people to grow and develop and to build wealth. It's basically for us to be worker ants so that a few people make money, and the rest of us are one check away, as they say in the States, one check away from bankruptcy. And
That's right.
it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, there are things that we can do. Investments, large and small, businesses, large and small. The backbone of any business, of any country's GDP, is actually small businesses. So it's us that's supporting this inverted pyramid with the people, or the pyramid with the people at the bottom really are supporting the ones at the very top. And I've always felt that wasn't right or fair. Everybody, it should be a level playing field. And I think something like this, where people can build their own future, is absolutely vital, and people should be doing it more. But there's is a lot of fear. They've gone into employee mentality, and find it very difficult to get out of. And so the first thing you said was that you felt empowered, is really important, because people start to believe in themselves, and that, yes, I can do this. I can build and create the life that I dream of. So you've got this dream life now. You're having a wonderful time with your children and enjoying life with them. You have time, freedom, you feel great, you look great. So what is this secret that that you're sitting on, that we can share a little bit with others? Because I will say that, having read some of the literature, I mean, it's simple and it's not simple.
Yeah.
But go on.
Okay, so if you could feel and heal and be like you were 5, 10, 15 years ago, would that interest you?
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay. So now you can, and I'll tell you why. So everything that we use and all the other products and minerals and vitamins out there is either organic-based, herb-based, plant-based, or synthetic, or maybe something might have chemicals in it.
Mm-hmm.
These group of products is native. So what's exactly inside my cells that empower my immune system for them to heal, that it help detect, repair, and replace damaged cells with new ones, is what's in these products. And they're called redox molecules, which is foundational to cellular health. Okay? So when someone's not well, I'm sure like everyone would have heard of someone who's gone to a doctor, then to the Chinese medicine, then a naturopath, and so forth, to find that remedy to get on top of their health challenge. And it's not working. Why? Because the body's got to digest it, break it down, and try and utilize it what it can. And in some circumstances, it doesn't agree, okay, because it's organic, herbal, plant. Whereas if you use these group of products, the cells know what it is straight away because it's native, absorbs it, it turns on the genetic pathways, the spark plug for the body, and those dormant cells that weren't working when we were young, like they were when we were younger, all of a sudden signaling, talking, working, wake up. Does that make sense? Because every decade we lose a percentage of these redox molecules. By the time we're going to have 10% left when we're 80 or 70, because of lifestyle choices, food, Wi-Fi, microwaves, everything like that affects our body's own ability to make those redox molecules. So this company has the breakthrough that they've done that. So it's magnificent. And it's just great. It's great for athletes. It's safe for everyone. It's non-toxic. Good for the elderly, newborns, everyone. So that's why it's doing so well.
Well, let me just ask you this, because you've mentioned things that may be plant-based or have some other kind of formulation. What exactly makes this different? You've already said that because it's analogous to our cell composition, which is why it's absorbed quickly and easily. But is it manufactured? Is it something that occurs naturally? Is it harvested? I mean, how do you get
so when we cry and when we sweat, what does it taste like?
Salt.
So our body's made up of salt and water. Okay, so that's the initial ingredients. And I'm talking pristine saline and first graded salt.
Of course.
Then obviously it goes through a 3-day process. It's all patented, but the end product is redox molecules.
Okay.
So it's in a liquid form and it's in a topical gel form. Because on the outside, if you look at our skin, we can see things that are going wrong, right? Whether it's a mole, whether it's wrinkles, whether it's sun damage. And we go, oh my gosh, you can do something about it. But it's actually happening from the inside out as well. And may we never know what we're preventing by looking after ourselves from the inside. And, you know, we always feel those diseases that we don't want to have, okay? So this is what this does. It empowers our immune system. And the immune system sees something wrong. It sends out the troops and the cells will get repaired or replaced with new ones. It's incredible.
Yeah, it sounds like a miracle, almost like a miracle cure.
Well, that's what they're saying. I mean, I didn't want to say that, but you know, it's one of the biggest findings of yours in my lifetime, and you'll hear about it more. It's been going. The science has been found for the last 17, 20 years, but the company's been going since 2010. And it came to Australia in 2014.
Okay, so the company isn't based in Australia; it's actually based somewhere else then.
Yeah, it's based in the US.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now, it occurs to me that this, as you say, that this is something that people will be hearing more and more about. But why?
Yeah.
Why now? Why hasn't anybody been hearing about this? I mean, this seems like something people should be running down the streets and shouting about, because it's something that really like you say, is a spark plug. It's like that kick starts and maintains that growth and development and repair of cells. So
yeah,
you know, why aren't we hearing about this everywhere from every end? I mean, it just seems incredible that something that, well, I can understand why, you know, in my mind, I have my thoughts as to why we haven't heard more about these things. But as you say, there's a plethora of products out there, but why this? Why now? I mean, let me just put it to you that way. Why this product?
Okay, so initially, when the founders come across this product and knew what it was doing for people, they needed to look at distribution channels. How are we going to get out into the market? And obviously, the first port of call is the pharmaceutical companies, you know, to go through Chemist Warehouse and all those big chains. Right. But when they had their meeting with the pharmaceutical companies, they said to them, we've got so much money to offer you that you will not want to talk to anyone else, but there's a catch. And the catch was there was probably like 160 people that were using the product. It was getting shipped to different countries and people that were relying on the products. They said all those companies, all those countries and all the people using it, stop. That's it, no more. And the owners thought, well, that's kind of harsh because people need to use it. Yeah. And they said, well, if you want the deal and you want to have enough money that's going to set you up generational wealth, that's it. So obviously after a few days of talks and discussions, they decided, no, we're not going to go that way. Yeah. He wanted to leave a legacy. He wanted to have an impact on people's health. Yeah. They chose the word of mouth, direct sales. Okay. And which makes sense. So if you see a bottle of this product on the shelf and, you know, it says redox molecules,
you won't know what it is.
You wouldn't know what it is, right? So that's why it goes through direct sales or word of mouth, because I can tell you about it. I can share it with you. And it will. I mean, it's really taking traction. It won't be long until people say, you've got to try this. That's the one you've got to have. It'll be well known. So it's perfect timing now for a business point of view to get in because, you know, obviously lots of countries are still opening.
Right. Yeah. Now, what I'll make sure to do when I post this is that I'll have a link that people can find out a little bit more about the product make up their own minds whether they, you know, like to join a business or at least try the product and find out for themselves about this. Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure everyone would love to. I'm sure everyone would love to sleep more and have more energy for the minimum benefits. But who's had these health challenges, whether it's a skin issue or other ones, they've tried everything. It's all got to do with your cells. All diseases and your health is related back to the condition of your cells. Yeah. Bad cells, bad health, vice versa.
Yeah. I mean, and it's as simple as that. I mean, we really are what we inject, what we eat, what we ingest. Yeah. So if we're not ingesting the best ingredients in these days, like you've mentioned some of the things, toxins in the air and in our food and you know, like you say, Wi-Fi as we sit here and talk.
Yes.
But
Yeah, but I've had mine. You haven't had yours. I've had my little redox molecules cup, bang, down. Protection.
yeah, I mean, but it's the kind of thing that all of these things that have negative impacts on our systems, and we don't even think twice about them. This is the thing. People are really not conscious about their health until something goes wrong. And then
Yeah, that's right.
they'll try everything under the sun to sort things. And it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, I've been using things over the years that, I mean, my health has taken a turn for the better. There are a lot of things that I used to, little nicks and niggles and things that help. But it's like, life is a progression. As you learn more, you and see more, you make your choices about things will evolve. Now, this is something that was totally new to me. Until we connected, I hadn't really, I had never heard of it, to be quite honest. And I find it intriguing, but, and it's the kind of thing intriguing from the point of view of health. It's like, like you say, you get approached all the time by people, join this business, become involved with this. And it's just like, you like, you just want to tell them, go away. But this is something that I think that it would be worthwhile if people really are concerned about their health, to at least give it a try and see for themselves what difference it can make. And like you said, you can talk till the cows come home, but I mean, the only thing that really in the end convinces us is a personal testimonial, but direct experience. I mean, Einstein even said it. He says, experience is knowledge. Everything else is just commentary.
Yes.
So, I mean, this is just to give people a little flavor of something that is out there that's new and quite different, and can have a major impact on people's health. And as I said, I will certainly put in links or link or two so that people can inform themselves more about it, and perhaps want to delve even further into the subject, because it's an important one. And as the soil, even organic diets these days aren't sufficient, because the soil is stripped of nutrients. Absolutely.
So the most powerful antioxidant is called glutathione. You've heard of that?
Yes.
That's the one that keeps all the viruses and the bacteria, all the things that we fear, away most.
Right.
And that's why we're told, have your greens and your beans and all your smoothies and your superfoods to help us activate those antioxidants.
That's right.
But it's not them that activates the antioxidants, it's the redox molecules. Yes, it's important to have smoothies and green food and all of that, but it will only improve your glutathione by 30%. If you can improve your glutathione by 500%, I know where
I mean, that just sounds bad.
Yeah. And that's what's happening. So I've been on the product now since 2014, touch wood, and I'm 53, touch wood. And
you're younger than
I
me.
have not been.
You look.
I have not been. And I haven't. I mean, I've had a little bit of a cold and a sniffle, but I haven't been flu or bedridden and whatnot. And I know, and I don't get the flu injection or anything like that. It's because my immune system is so strong because of it. Yeah, and it just keeps it away.
I mean, and that's what I find. I have been finding that paying attention to these kinds of things has. I mean, yes, it's important to eat well, eat right, sleep well, and all of the other things. Get proper rest and exercise. But what really makes the difference is giving your cells what they need. And I'm a firm believer in that and stress, because I find that no matter how healthy I am, if I let myself get caught up and get stressed, everything passes my door and stops and stays. Just everything.
Yes, so true.
But now I find that keeping the stress levels under control and, like you say, proper diet, and proper supplements actually turn the tide and make a difference. So like you, I can't remember the last time I've been sick, to be honest. Thank God. Hay fever is a little bit tricky, but you know, and the pollen that count at the moment is up the roof. But generally, as long as I'm eating properly and getting sufficient rest and not letting myself get stressed, I'm okay. But having said that, I recognize that not having the proper supplements to feed the body make all the difference. You know, there's something I want to ask you. Did you notice with this any kind of change in your weight at all?
Yes, because my cells are signaling, so my metabolism's better, right? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I had a feeling, and also I find that when the body is really receiving the nutrition it needs, the cells are receiving proper nutrition. You actually eat less.
Oh. Yeah, absolutely, and also my hormones.
Yes,
more balanced.
Absolutely.
Right, everything's working. So the oxidative stress in my body is all balanced out.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and that's what we all strive to have.
Okay. Well, I said, you know, I think that the technology guards are telling us that we need to wrap this up because for some reason the recording has become unstable. But I thank you so much, Lorene, for taking the time out of your busy day to
my pleasure
to speak with me. And as I said, I will put up with this a link or two where people can get some more information about glutathione, first of all, what that is, and also about the redox molecule and what that's about. Because whether people think it's a good idea or a bad idea, I believe that people, an educated consumer is the best the customer. So I believe in educating people, whether they come to me or come to you or go someplace else, but at least they're making a more informed decision, and that's always important. So thank you so much, Lorene. Thank you. I said, you know, we may have this conversation again in a few months. I said, you know, I might give this a try myself and come back to you and tell you what I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you so much. Have a fabulous day. And thank you for sharing your story, because it's an important one. And whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because you look absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day. We'll chat soon. Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.